So his chariotry Dwarka would come.
Daruk. His charioteer, Daruk.
His charioteer Daruk would come with his wonderful chariot to stand before the Lord with folded hands, intimating that the chariot was ready, and the Lord would come out of the palace to travel. Then the Lord, accompanied by Uddhava and Satyaki, would ride on the chariot, just as the sun god rides on his chariot in the morning, appearing with his blazing rays on the surface of the world. When the Lord was about to leave his palaces, all the queens would look at him with feminine gestures. The Lord would respond to their greetings with smiles, attracting their. Uh, Prabhuji, could you please move this option? Your cursor is coming before the word. Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, yeah. Could you? Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. The Lord would respond to their greetings with a smiles, attracting their hearts so much so that they would feel intense separation from the Lord. Then the Lord would go to the assembly house known as Sudharma. It may be remembered that the Sudharma assembly house was taken away from the heavenly planet and was re re-established in the city of Dwarka. The specific significance of the assembly house was that anyone who entered it would be freed from the six kinds of material plagues, namely hunger, thirst, lamentation, illusion, old age, and death. These are the whips of material existence, and as long as one remained in that assembly house of Sudharma, he would not be infected by these six material whips. The Lord would say goodbye in all the 16,000 palaces, and again he would become one and enter the Sudharma assembly house in procession with other members. Oh, where was I? Yeah. In procession with other members of the Yadu dynasty. After entering the assembly house, he used to sit on the exalted royal throne and would be seen to animate glaring rays of transcendental effulgence. In the midst of all the great heroes of the Yadu dynasty, Krishna resembled the full moon in the sky, surrounded by the multi-luminaires in the assembly house. There were professional jokers, dancers, musicians, and ballet girls. And as soon as the Lord sat on his throne, they would begin the respective functions in order to please the Lord and put him in a happy mood. First of all, the jokers would talk in a such way that the Lord and his associates would enjoy their humor, which would refresh the morning mood. The dramatic actors would then play their parts, and the dancing ballet girls would separately display their artistic movements. All these functions would be accompanied by the beating of the mridanga, drums, and the sounds of the uni, unia and flutes
The
and
sounds of the
bells,
Veena.
followed by
Veena and
veena.
flutes.
Sorry, yeah, veena, and the flute and flutes and bells, followed by the sound of the pakwaja. Well, my pronunciation is very poor. Another type of drum. Along with these musical vibrations, the auspicious sound of the console would also be added. The professional singers called sutas and magdas magdas would sing. and others would perform their dancing art. In this way, as devotees, they would offer respectful prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sometimes the learned Brahmanas present in that assembly would chant Vedic yamnas and explain them to the audience to their best knowledge. And sometimes some of them would, could you please scroll down, recite old historical accounts of the activities of prominent kings. The Lord, accompanied by his associates, would be very much pleased to hear them.
Yes.
Once upon
So there, thank you. So there is mention of Sudharma Assembly Hall. So who is this Sudharma Assembly Hall? This is the Assembly Hall of Indradev in heavenly planets. और इसका benefit क्या है? Anyone who enters
six,
Sudharma Hall, he will be freed from all kinds of, I mean, six kinds of material pangs: hunger, thirst, lamentation, illusion, old age, and death. मतलब, as long as you are in that hall, you will not be affected
you
by
will not,
birth, old age, disease, death, illusion, lamentation, ignorance, thirst, passion. All these things will not affect you. So this is the benefit of Sudharma Hall. This hall is available only and only in Swargaloka. And Krishna brought it down from Swarga to Dwarika in Bhom Dwarika. And there Krishna would do his administrative work because he was the king, he was the prince, and he would perform all his duties of being Dwarkadhish from the Sudharma assembly house. And there it is mentioned how they would carry on the daily activities. That here it is mentioned that after entering, first of all, Lord would sit on the exalted royal throne, Dwarkadhish, and would be seen to emanate glaring rays of transcendental effulgence. He would be the hero of the Yadu dynasty, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There were professional jokers, dancers, musicians, ballet girls, and as soon as Lord sat on his throne, they would begin their respective functions in order to please the Lord and put him in a happy mood. आप लोगों ने मूवीज में भी देखा होगा ना, राजा महाराजाओं के मूवीज में भी दिखाते हैं, ओल्ड मूवीज ऑफ 90s and before that. In Mahabharata also you must have seen whenever
yes,
the
yes,
king comes, let's say Vikramaditya king comes. So then all these jokers and professional singers, professional dancers, they will come and do their activities, performances to glorify the Lord. I mean, to glorify the king, to make him happy. So this is coming from Krishna, from Krishna only. They got this idea, and they would do this because Naradev, he is best among the humans. So that's why he needs to be respected like that. Even we see in this little Krishna also, right? Indra is sitting on the throne, and the Apsaras are dancing for Indra. They are performing their
yes,
um, artistic movements and everything. So it's like that. So it's all in parampara, which is coming from Krishna only. So we will come to know about all these things when we read Prabhupada books. Otherwise, we cannot figure out head and tail how these things are happening. Because Krishna would do all these things. That's why they want to imitate Krishna and copy Krishna. So they would also perform these activities. Like previously, also I told about Prithviraj Chauhan. He was very famous king in
yes,
India, in Rajasthan, and he forgave Muhammad Ghori 17 times, 16 times, or 17 times. But Muhammad Ghori, 17th time, he brought bigger army, and that time he defeated Prithviraj by hook and crook. And he said, "You are a fool. You forgave me 100 times, but I will not forgive you even once. I am not a fool like you."
indeed,
Why why Prithviraj is not glorified for his forgiveness? Because he was trying to imitate Krishna, just like Krishna forgave Jarasandh 16, 17 times. He thought, I am also Krishna's representative. So let me do what Krishna did. But he forgot the principle. Krishna's strength is unlimited and your strength is limited. So we cannot imitate Krishna. We have to follow in the footsteps of Krishna. So that's how he got trapped in his imitation. And then the whole country suffered, right? Whole India suffered because of his wrong decision. And we had
definitely,
so much destruction of the Hindu religion and temples getting destroyed, and so many things happened because of one king's irresponsible behavior. So that's why the king has to be trained very, very carefully in following the footsteps of the Lord and great personalities and not trying to imitate them, copy them, and become popular like them. है ना? कई बार लोग बोलते हैं I want to become like सचिन तेंदुलकर, I want to become like अमिताभ बच्चन. But उसको बनने के लिए you have to perform that tapasya also. If you want to become like
Definitely.
somebody without performing the tapasya, what they have done to achieve that position, then we will always get into trouble. So that part of tapasya we forget. We only see the name, fame, glory, what they are getting. But if we are not ready to do the sacrifice and penances, then we will not be able to survive as a great leader in due course of time. And it has happened with so many people. So many people they have got succumbed to lust, anger, greed. Why? Because the foundation was very weak. Building was very good, long building, tall building, but foundation was weak. So when storm came, पूरा building उड़ गया. So this we need to learn. Yeah, it happened with so many people. So we need to learn that when we read about Krishna enjoying with Magadas and Chanaras and singers and jokers, we have to see what tapasya or what activities he has performed before coming to this position. When he was in Gokula, when he was in Mathura, what all things he has done. And now he is at this level. So if we forget that and only we see the front part, then we will be thoroughly bewildered. So,
Definitely.
so that's why now we are in 70th chapter, and before 70 chapters, there are so many chapters describing about Krishna's opulences and Krishna's strength. So those things also we have to remember. That's why before pastime, Prabhupada always emphasized first you understand the philosophy. First philosophy,
True.
Bhagavad Gita, then Bhagavatam comes. तो गीता में सिर्फ फिलोसफी दिया है, एक भी पास टाइम नहीं है, राइट? ओनली फिलोसफी इज देयर. पास टाइम कम्स इन भागवतम, 7th chapter onwards. Pass time starts. Till that point of time, only philosophy is there. Why? Because philosophy is more
Definitely.
important. Without philosophy, pastimes will not make any change of our heart. So that's why we are reading Krishna book, and Prabhupada is not only giving pastimes, एक के बाद एक लीला, रास लीला और भगवान का गोवर्धन लीला, भगवान का कालिया दमन लीला. प्रभुपाद फिलोसफी के पहले, आई मीन पास्ट टाइम के पहले फिलोसफी देते हैं, पास्ट टाइम के बाद में फिलोसफी देते हैं. सो ही इज गिविंग इन सैंडविच फॉर्म. फर्स्ट पार्ट फिलोसफी, देन इन बिटवीन सम पास्ट टाइम, अगेन फिलोसफी, अगेन पास्ट टाइम, so that we don't miss the essence. That is the
Definitely.
that is the crux of every chapter which is given in Krishna book. And Prabhupada
Definitely.
presented it as it is, without any manipulation or contamination. So here it is
Definitely.
mentioned that what these people used to do, they would uh, chant Vedic hymns and explain them to audience to their best knowledge. And sometimes some of them would recite old historical accounts of activities of prominent kings. The Lord, accompanied by his associate, would be very pleased to hear them. For example, we see in Ramayana, one time the priest invited Love Kush. And what Love Kush did in order to please Lord Ramchandra, they started narrating the whole Ramayana, the birth of Lord Rama, and then how he got married to Sita, and then how he was exiled to forest. Everything they narrated with such purity and such nectarian voice that the Lord got astonished. Who are these two kids? And finally, the Lord understood that they are none other than the children of Sita Mata, the Sita Maya. And then he came to know the whole incident after banishment, how Sita took shelter of Valmiki Muni, and she gave birth to twins, Love Kush, and how they got trained under Valmiki. So like that, sometimes they would recite whole uh, narration of the dynasty of the Lord and prominent kings to please everyone. So ये इसके बहुत सारे in Mahabharata and Ramayana also made by B.R. Chopra and Ramanand Sagar. You can relate some of the episodes they have seen like this.
Definitely.
They have shown.
We can also take instance of Prithu Maharaj.
Right. Prithu Maharaj also. Correct. Correct. Okay, we'll go ahead. Yes, Rohit Prabhu, would you like to read?
Would you like to read, Rohit? You want? Proji, he is very absorbed in his studies, I think.
No problem,
Oh,
no
with
problem.
your permission, may I read?
Yeah, you
But
can read.
he would
You
like to
can.
listen.
Yeah, no
He
problem. You can
basically
go ahead.
he is trying.
You can go ahead and read next two paragraphs.
Sure, Proji. Once upon a time, a person arrived at the gateway of the assembly house who was unknown to all the members of the assembly, and with the permission of Lord Krishna, he was admitted into the assembly by the doorkeepers. The doorkeepers was ordered to present him before the Lord, and the man appeared and offered his respectful obeisances unto the Lord with folded hands. It had happened that when King Jarasandha conquered all other kingdoms, many kings did not bow their hands before Jarasandha, and as a result, all of this, all of them, numbering 20, 20,000, were arrested and made his prisoners. The man who was brought before Lord Krishna. Rohit, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. The man who was brought before Lord Krishna by the doorkeepers was a representative messenger from all these imprisoned kings. Being being duly presented before the Lord, the man began to explain the actual situation as follows. My dear Lord, you are the eternal form of transcendental bliss and knowledge. As such, you are beyond the reach of the material speculation or vocal description of any materialistic man within this world. A slight portion of your glories can be known by persons who are fully surrendered unto your lotus feet, and by your grace only such persons become freed from all material anxieties. My dear Lord, I am not one of these surrendered souls. I am still within the duality and illusion of this material existence. I have therefore come to take shelter of your lotus feet, for I am afraid of the cycle of birth and death. My dear Lord, I think that there are many living entities like me who are eternally entangled in fruitive activities and their resultant reactions. They are never inclined to follow your instructions by the performance of devotional service, although it is pleasing to the heart and most auspicious for one's existence. On the contrary, they are against the path of Krishna conscious life, and they are wandering within the three worlds, impelled by the illusionary energy of material existence. My dear Lord, who can estimate your mercy and your powerful activities? You are present always as the in insurmountable force of eternal time, engaged in baffling the indefectible desires of the materialists, who are thus repeatedly becoming confused and frustrated. I therefore offer my respectful obeisance unto you in your form of eternal time. My dear Lord, you are the proprietor of all the worlds, and you have incarnated yourself along with your plenary expansion, Lord Balrama. It is said that your appearance in this incarnation is for the purpose of protecting the faithful and destroying the miscreants. Under the circumstances, how is it possible that miscreants like Jarasandha can put us into?
Yes.
Could
So,
you please?
yeah. So here it is mentioned that the Lord appears for the purpose of protecting the faithful and destroying the miscreants. So we read in Bhagavad Gita also 4.7, 4.8. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharata तद्बुद्धानम धर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम् परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे. Krishna comes every yuga for what? Two purposes. Paritranaya sadhunam, to give pleasure, to relieve the sadhus from their burden. Vinashaya cha dushkritam, and to destroy the dushkritinas, fools and rascals, miscreants. One more verse comes, 7.15. Namam dushkritino muda prapadyante naradhama maya aparitadnyanam asurim bhavamashritah. Four types of people, they never surrender to Krishna. Who are they? दुष्कृतिनः, miscreants. तो उसके बारे में यहाँ पे लिखा है. So to destroy such miscreants, Krishna appears and he also protects the faithful. So here it is mentioned that this servant of all the kings, he's a representative of all these 20,000 kings, very expert personality. He's coming and offering prayers to the Lord so that he can be merciful on the faithful and destroy the miscreants like Jarasandha. And eventually we will also read about Shishupal, how Lord delivers Shishupal. So he is one of the six enemies what we have in our life. So we'll discuss about him also. Yeah, please go ahead. Like Jarasandha can put us into.
Such deplorable, deplorable conditions of life against your authority. We are puzzled at the situation and cannot understand how it is possible. It may be that Jarasandh has been deputed to give us such trouble because of our past misdeeds. But we have heard from revealed scriptures that anyone who surrenders unto your lotus feet immediately becomes immune to the reactions of sinful life. I have therefore been deputed by all the imprisoned kings to wholeheartedly offer ourselves unto your shelter. And we hope that your lordship will now give us full protection. We have now come to the real conclusion of our lives. Our kingly positions are nothing but the reward of our past pious activities, just as our suffering imprisonment by Jarasandh is the result of our past impious activities. We realize now that the resultant reactions of both pious and impious activities are temporary, and we can never be happy in this conditioned life. This material body is awarded to us by the modes of material nature, and on account of this, we are full of anxieties. The material condition of life simply involves wearing the burden of this dead body as a result of fruitive activities. We have thus been subjected to being beasts of burden for these bodies and being forced by conditional life. We have given up the pleasing life of Krishna consciousness. Now we realize that we are the most foolish persons. We have been being entangled in the network of material reaction due to our ignorance. We have therefore come to the shelter of your lotus feet, which can immediately eradicate all the results of fruitive action and thus free us from the contamination of material pains and pleasures. Dear Lord, because we are now surrendered souls at your lotus feet, you can give us relief from the inter 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 what is it, Prabhuji?
Ent-
Interam
entrapment. Entrapment.
entrampment of fruitive action made possible by the from of Jarasandha. Dear Lord, it is known to you that Jarasandha possesses the power of 10,000 elephants, and with this power, he has imprisoned us, just as a lion hypnotizes a flock of sheep. My dear Lord, You have already fought with Jarasandha 18 times consecutively, out of which you have defeated him 17 times by suppressing his extraordinary powerful position. But in your 18th fight, you exhibited your human behavior, and thus it appeared that you were defeated. My dear Lord, we know very well that Jarasandh cannot defeat you at any time because your power, strength, resources, and authority are all unlimited. No one can equal you or surpass you. The appearance of defeat by Jarasandh in the 18th engagement is nothing but an exhibition of human behavior. Unfortunately, fool Jarasandh could not understand your tricks, and he has since then become puffed up over his material power and prestige. Specifically, he has arrested us and imprisoned us, knowing fully that as your devotees, we are subordinate to your sovereignty.
Correct. So here it is mentioned that very important point the messenger is telling. We have been entangled in the network of material reaction due to our ignorance. And this network of material reaction is Kali is internet, social media. That is Maya's network.
Oh my God.
And things which we are supposed to know, we don't come to know because we are too busy handling the WhatsApp messages, chats on media, and things which we are not supposed to know. That we keep getting it again and again pop up, and YouTube says many times recommended for you, as if he's our guru, YouTube guru or Google guru. So that is the problem. So this network of material reaction, what this messenger is telling all of us, is nothing but the internet in current day and age. That is the internet of Maya, internal network of external energy of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's why today we were hearing one session by His Grace Radhesham Prabhu. Prabhuji was telling if you want to remain safeguard from this internet of Krishna's external energy, then what we have to do? We should take some precautionary measures. And he said about parental control app. He said every boy, every youth, student working who is in bachelor life and who is a devotee chanting 16 rounds, following four regs, need to have in his mobile, in his laptop, parental control app installed. So that if by chance, any day, any time, we are tricked by this internet, by this powerful energy of Maya, then immediately the report will go to the parent, to our mentor, to our guide, that at so and so time that the boy has watched so and so video for so much duration. So in this way, we can safeguard ourselves.
Definitely, it is a fantastic idea.
Parental control app. I also told my mentor that I want to install in my mobile. So please help me, guide me, and he will he will take some he will take some actions in this regard.
So good, Prabhuji. So good. I will also get it installed
Yeah, think about
in my
it,
mobile.
and eventually you will understand about the importance of having these restrictions, which is good for us. Otherwise, we are giving ways to Maya to come and capture our Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada tells one story of an devotee. He was traveling in train from Bombay to Mayapur, and he was having a confirmed ticket. So one lady came. She was in waiting ticket in those days, and she said, "You are having lower berth, window seat. Can you just give me some space?" And the devotee was reluctant. Still, he allowed. Okay, she is a lady. She needs support. He allowed her to sit. After a few minutes, what happened? She brought her child. Then again, after a few minutes, she brought her second child. And then again, after a few minutes, she brought her father, mother. And then again, after some time, she brought her husband. And finally, this devotee, who was having a confirmed seat, he was out of place and he was standing, and all this wife, children, father, mother, husband, they were sitting comfortably. So Prabhupada tells this story. Prabhupada says, you allow one anartha to enter in your heart, lust, in the form of WhatsApp video, YouTube video. Then that lust will come in, and then slowly, slowly, it will bring his family members. It will bring envy, it will bring anger, it will bring greed, illusion, pride. Everything will come, and your consciousness will be out of place. So, like that, Prabhupada gives classic example. So, we have to be very, very careful to safeguard our Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, we will become, like here it is mentioned, will become puppet in the hands of Krishna's external energies,
Illusion.
Maya Devi.
True.
So we have to be very, very careful, right? So he's telling here
Definitely.
that unfortunately, foolish Jarasandha could not understand your tricks, and he has since then become puffed up over his material power and prestige. Specifically, he has arrested us and imprisoned us knowingly, fully, that as your devotees, we are subordinate to your sovereignty. Yeah. So like that, we don't understand how the Maya tricks us directly or indirectly, and we get caught up, puffed up, and then we commit so many mistakes, and then we get into trouble one after another.